Hey guys, SR here with your Mega News Roundup for October 11th, 2021. Just like last week, this news roundup is going to be very Rockman X DiVE and Rockman X DiVE Time Rift focused, possibly for the very last time with the latter one. So let's get underway with the deep log as always. In Rockman X DiVE, it's that time of the month once again as DiVE Festival has arrived. The featured character this time is Riko 2.0, iCO. Yes, it's finally time to see her full design from the chest down, after many teases in the actual storyline. And yeah, it's what we all expect. It's basically an edgier version of Riko. I also like the boob eyes on the arms there. You know, like Boob Eyes, the boss from X1. Ha! You thought I was gonna say something different, didn't you? Also, you're welcome, Cole fam. Skill time! So with the first skill here, iCO is stealing one of Dive Armor X's skills, in a way, with Analyzer Wall, creating the same analyzing wall that Riko had, but using it as a shield akin to Dax. Did you notice iCO also has wings, kind of like Dax? Not only that, but the Analyzer Wall will periodically fire volleys of energy shots, obviously locking on to any nearby enemies. Furthermore, with a passive skill, once iCO hits a target with the energy shots, she will gain a shield and cause stackable slow effects. Skill 2 is Data Reconstruction, the same identical skill that Riko has, summoning info windows that will access random skills. The only difference is Riko used Hunter program skills, whereas iCO here is going to be using boss skills instead, since she's supposed to be the kind of evil, edgy version. You get it. Up to 3 of these boss skills can come out at random, so let's see if we can identify them. The first one is a bit hard to pick out, but apparently it is the Shooting Claw of Base EXE GS. Number 2 is much more obvious. It's the giant purple square of death that X5 Sigma used. Oh man, that's spooky. Remember kids, copying something as dangerous as Sigma provides no risk, so you too can go Maverick at will. The third boss skill then is something that's not even a boss featured in X DiVE, not even remotely. The final form of Dr. Weil from Mega Man 04. Wow, okay. Is that supposed to be a tease for a future raid boss? It is pretty cool that they're not limiting her skills to just X characters, but a boss that's not even in the game yet. They certainly didn't set any rules for this one. Otherwise, the skills are pretty much the same in how they work compared to Riko. Shooting Claw is basically the charge shot, Sigma's giant square is your screen clearing attack, and Wild's skill stuns any enemy in range of the hexagon, just like Iris's Peaceful Wish. However, in the PvP clip in the trailer, we can see that Wild's skill also goes through preventive shields. There sure are a lot of counters for the preventive shield lately, and that's pretty much iCO in a nutshell. A slightly retooled version of Riko. Riko 2.0 as it were. Alongside iCO's DiVE Festival banner, we're getting a new DiVE focused event stage, which is titled the Pulsing Force of Destruction. This stage is modeled after the Zero stages from Mega Man X5. And yes, it also has the death lasers from X5. Oh no. Oh. And to make matters even worse, are those the Nightmare DNA enemies from Mega Man X6? Oh my gosh, Capcom, you're killing me here. Well, that's gonna be fun. So anyway, the story of this stage is Riko once again wants to collect some data. Given that last time we had an event like this, it was for Riko's Hunter program, it's probably going to be for iCO's Hunter program this time around. We even see Riko on screen during the stage, as it's essentially going to be an escort mission. Great, wonderful. And of course, you can't have one of these events without Via as a boss. Except this time, it seems Via has gone berserk. The trailer even mentions, find out why Via is at normal. Okay Dive, let me level with you for 1 second. Via has always been at normal from the very beginning. Heck, he seems to know all the bosses and they all ask him, "Hey Via, are you gonna do the thing yet?" every single chapter. And then he hides iCO as a seeker from Rico, and what the heck is going on with that guy? Seriously, what's his problem? Well, hopefully this event will shed some more lights on that, but I'm going to guess probably not too much. Alright, so one more thing before we move on to the other DiVE versions. You may notice in the DiVE Festival banner image, it mentions DNA codes. You may be wondering to yourself, what the heck is a DNA code? Well, my friends, do you recall when producer Yoda said they were going to release a new system? This is the one right here. Incidentally, they also mentioned in the patch notes last week to save up your character memories for a new system coming out. And this is the reason why. DNA codes are essentially the hidden skills that we had for a few of the S-rank weapons. Except this time around, you're going to be using your spare character memories to upgrade your existing characters and unlock their hidden skills. This could come in the form of stats buffs, additional abilities, and more. In other words, a ton of characters just got a buff, even ones that may not necessarily have needed it. But for the ones that needed a buff, yeah, sure. The significant thing about DNA code besides that is it does give you an incentive not to sell your spare character memories, just like what hidden skills did for the weapons. That being the case, this is your fair warning. Do not sell your character memories anymore. Unless you just straight up don't care, but you probably should. It's a buff for your character. Anyway, the iCO DiVE Festival banner will be live on October 13th, this Wednesday, and it will be going for a whopping 2 weeks. Whoa, that's new for DiVE Fest. Until October 27th. So actually, you have plenty of time to get iCO. Holy. So that probably means the event stage is going to be 2 weeks as well. Get ready for the long haul. But hey, you get incredible odds for 2 weeks. That's pretty epic. And you know what that means. Once the DiVE Festival banner is over, we're getting right into Halloween stuff. And we already know one of the featured characters is going to be Halloween Sigma. Thanks to NebulaJoy. That's gonna be funny. Moving on over to Rockman X DiVE in Japan, another epic thing going on is Japan is celebrating their 1-year anniversary for DiVE. Already! Man, time sure flies. And there is a bunch of stuff going on to celebrate it. We have an anniversary banner similar to past anniversary banners where you will get a guaranteed S-rank weapon on your first 10 pull, and then on your 6th and 9th 10 pulls you'll get a guaranteed character. In addition, the Japanese version is introducing hero coins. These coins can be exchanged for 120 memories of some of the A-rank characters in the game, and then for each day of the week you will get 1 memorial ticket, which can be used to activate a special capsule, or if you save up 4 tickets, you can just cash those in for a free permanent character of your choosing. Man, now I wish the Taiwan version got this because I really want Vile Mark II. And yes, at the current time it does look like all this stuff is Japan exclusive for their anniversary. Seriously, Japan gets all the good stuff. However, the coolest thing about this anniversary is the new promo artwork to celebrate. Once again, this has been drawn up by Mega Man X series artist Keisuke Mizuno. And for the first time, it features iCO, along with the obvious Rico, and Via is not looking too hot, but pretty cool at the same time. Then off to the right, we have a selection of a bunch of hunter programs. Naturally, you gotta have 2 irises. And X has his main character privilege, of course, by being featured 2 times in the banner. Although you could say one of them is meant to be an insert for player sons. Me personally, I'm just gonna say main character privilege, definitely. Gotta show off that DiVE Armor X after all. And look at Bits there thinking he's cool enough to be in the main arc. Rip Vile, he's nowhere to be seen anymore. That's depressing. Other than that, this is awesome, and this is most likely going to be the new title screen for the game coming up, so yeah, the title screen is about to look very pretty. The DiVE Facebook page does mention with this image that it feels like something big is coming. So perhaps this banner is teasing more things to come for the storyline. Maybe we'll actually get things to move along for once. I suppose we'll find that out for ourselves when we play the event this Wednesday. Alright, time to switch gears to the Mega Man X DiVE Global version. Following last week's Assault Equipment Limited Weapon banner, coincidentally, Global was also having their own DiVE festival. And since Ultimate Armor X has already been done, naturally the next in line is Iris. So yep, Iris is the focus for this upcoming DiVE festival banner. She's actually a really good unit if you do end up pulling her. There's a reason why she was part of the meta when she came out. More of a trap character than other ones, but her mines are extremely powerful, and if you combine that with lag, yep, good luck. In addition, according to the social media page, if you log in every day leading up to DiVE Festival, you'll be getting some rewards like elemental medals, skill points, and explosive blower memories, 5 of them to be exact. There is also good news for you folks in Latin America, because the DiVE Latin American version has now released on the Google Play Store, at least in early access. So likely it's just going to be a beta test before the full version launches. So be aware that your save data is not going to carry over to the full version, but at least you can try it out in the meantime. Otherwise, that about wraps up our D-Blog news for today. It's always a nice thing that the game is being opened up to more territories as time goes on, even if it's run by NebulaJoy. Okay, it's time to get into this, boys, because it looks like Rockman X DiVE Time Rift, the mobile game that was being worked on by NebulaJoy, has now been cancelled. This is coming right off the heels of that questionable trailer that was leaked from the YouTube channel that now is called Got Fired in quotations. And I believe we now know why that person is named Got Fired. It may not necessarily even be because of the horrible DiVE ads that have been going around. But according to our good friends at Rockman Corner, who are the ones who broke the story, their source tells them that NebulaJoy has cut a number of jobs in August, and the employee who uploaded the Time Rift trailer and all those horrible DiVE ads was one of the people who got laid off during that time. As for the reason why Rockman X DiVE Time Rift got cancelled, it is because the mobile game that they made prior to this, Devil May Cry Pillar of Combat, didn't do too hot in the downloads department. It did okay in its native country, but when it came to the West, no, it just wasn't catching on. Although it's not too surprising since a lot of us didn't even know who NebulaJoy even was until very recently. They definitely didn't do a lot of marketing before then, and it shows, to be honest, in many ways. So due to that, NebulaJoy did have to shut down a number of in-production mobile projects, which does include Time Rift. So while the cancellation itself is pretty unfortunate, we did get 2 screenshots from Rockman Corner's source as a little bit of a consolation. Here we can see that Keisuke Mizuno styled X from the trailer, and then on the next one is the same Zero model from the trailer. And the models do look a little bit better than what was seen in the trailer, but it's negligible to me. And you can also see X playing on a phone in the background if you turn it upside down, which does reveal some actual gameplay footage of the game. I'm guessing these screenshots were taken from a trailer too. The image is really blurry, so it's hard to make out all the details, but it does appear to feature Zero playing in a 2D side-scrolling stage. Or maybe it's Model ZX, I am not too sure since the silhouettes would look very similar. But anyway, yeah, that's all you get. This is our only glimpse at what the game could have been. And, well, I mean, it seems fine. But I wonder how much different it would be from something like Rockman X DiVE, which is already out. First things first, I do have to nail the point in the head that this is not Capcom's fault that this game got cancelled. This was entirely all NebulaJoy from start to finish. All Capcom did really was license the IP out. So before you go off saying, oh, Capcom cancel another game in the comments, I just want you to know, this happened because NebulaJoy's Devil May Cry game didn't do as well as they hoped. And with that out of the way, it's time for me to be completely honest with you guys, 100%. I'm actually not that sad about XE Time Rift getting cancelled, and it's not even just because it's a mobile game. It's always a shame when a project gets cancelled, no doubt about that. But let me level with you for a sec. I've seen the way that NebulaJoy has handled Mega Man X DiVE in the West so far. And you guys have too, because I've been ranting about it, I've been reporting on it for quite a while now. The misleading marketing. Hey, remember guys, Elia is actually Nana from Command Mission. Yep, you heard it here folks. Thank you for telling us, NebulaJoy. The ridiculous promises that are obviously never going to happen. How unprofessional the people behind the DiVE Global version has been. And of course they leaked some characters that even Capcom hasn't talked about yet. That's pretty cool when you license out something to a company and then they leak all of your secrets, whether accidentally or not. Missing features in the game itself, and while bugs have always been a thing even in the original Rockman X DiVE, there has been some new ones cropping up that have never been there before in the Taiwan or Japanese versions. But hey, that's how development goes, I understand that. It's more everything surrounding the game that's got me feeling really uncomfortable with these guys. And then recently we saw with Rockman XE Time Rift how the trailer that they almost put out, but I don't know if they were actually going to put it out the way it was, not only used another band's music without permission, but they were using ripped assets from Overwatch. Really guys? Really? As cool as the animation itself was, those two elements right there were very questionable as I covered before. The list goes on and on, you guys. Did I ever mention that they've been taking things from content creators? Or that their team has been feeding people like Rockman Corner falsified information for whatever reason? Not about this XE Time Rift cancellation, mind you. I'm talking about the time that they let Rockman Corner announce a banner for the DiVE Global version. And there's a lot more where that came from too that I've heard about from behind the scenes. But I'm gonna leave that for my colleagues to disclose if they want to. To sum it all up, NebulaJoy is an extremely questionable company, at least from my perspective right now, which does leave me quite disgusted, and it almost makes me not even want to cover DiVE Global anymore moving forward. I'll see how I feel about that in the future. But man, to say that they're mismanaged is quite the understatement. I have no idea if they will ever get their act together, but oh boy. I'll be honest, it has indeed gotten to that point where even I don't want to touch them with a 10-foot pole anymore. So, that's where we stand. I've gotten that off my chest, so I'm just gonna end the video now. Thank you for coming to my rant. And I do want to thank you guys so much for watching. By the way, if you're interested, Rockman-chan Chapter 12 is now available for you to read, albeit in Japanese. If you want to check it out, the link will be in the description below. Of course, it's a parody manga, so it ought to be a lot of fun. And it might cheer you up a bit given the negative stuff we just discussed. Anyway, that's all for today's Mega News. I'll see you guys next week on Monday as usual. Of course, our Metroid shenanigans are still going on, and the support for those has been quite amazing. Thank you guys so much for helping us out with everything about that marathon. It's been really cool to see. The next step for me is to stream Metroid Dread at some point. I actually played it over the weekend and yep, I do think it does live up to the hype. And of course we gotta finish up all the other things that were promised, which is all randomizers. Most of them of the co-op variety, so that's gonna be a lot of fun to put together. Hopefully we don't spend another hour and a half setting up like with the Fusion one. but at least Zero Mission co-op should go more smoothly now that we got it all figured out for the BizHawk emulator and so on. In the meantime, I do want to thank all of our ShadowRockZX channel members, including GA class supporters LML123, Chaos Bonkai, Adrian Cauldron, Bent Crystals, Rose Maverick Saiyan, Rico Syndrome, and Austin Buford. Thank all of you guys so much, and I will see you another time, either for streams or another video like this one. Stay tuned to ShadowRockZX for all things Mega Man, of course, and until next time, rock on, have yourselves a great day or night, and beware the nightmares.